This is the Fields of the Wood, a one-of-a-kind religious attraction way out in the Appalachian Mountains near Murphy, North Carolina. This historic location is home to the world's largest 10 Commandments, which are inscribed in the face of a mountain. Now you may be wondering why this exists here, and that's a good question. These mountains were the site of the founding of the Church of God of Prophecy, a Pentecostal denomination. Starting in the late 19th century, there was a group of Pentecostals living in this extremely rural area. In 1903, a representative from the American Bible Society named A.J. Tomlinson came to stay with them and help the group out. One summer morning, Tomlinson climbed to the top of what is now known as Prayer Mountain, the one opposite the 10 Commandments, and claimed to have met God up there. He believed God had given him a plan for the sect here, and so he established the Church of God of Prophecy. Under his leadership, the church became rather popular, especially around here, despite a significant 1923 schism with the church in Cleveland, Tennessee. Today the church has about 1.5 million members around the world, and they have long operated missions in Latin America, where Pentecostalism had historically become the most popular Protestant denomination in the 20th century. This place is way out in the middle of nowhere in the southwesternmost pocket of North Carolina. It's a half-hour drive to get here from the closest small town. Towards the end of his life, Tomlinson decided to create the magnum opus of the church right here where he met God and started it all. So in 1940, this monument was erected to commemorate the spot where Tomlinson told the Pentecostals about his revelation atop the mountain. The colossal commandments were added a few years later. Here is a plane from the White Angel fleet. In the 1950s, the church invested in taking their evangelism to the sky by purchasing a whole fleet of these planes. That operation did quickly become too expensive to keep up with, but they would often do mission trips to the Caribbean with these planes. It is interesting to note that the same year Tomlinson received his divine revelation here in 1903, on the opposite side of the state, the Wright brothers became the first men to fly. The second project for Fields of the Wood was the construction of a monument atop Prayer Mountain, so I am going to climb all these steps and retrace Tomlinson's journey up and down the mountain. The slope of Prayer Mountain is lined by dozens of monuments relaying the prominent teachings of the Church of God of Prophecy. Notice that each of the monuments are sponsored by different states. They have some interesting and sometimes hardline rules presented through Bible verses. For example, Wisconsin's is about speaking in tongues. There are also markers recalling the history of the Reformation. This was the site of the witness tree. In 1941 they put the church banner on the tree, but it got struck by lightning, though the church flag miraculously survived. Virginia emphasizes total abstinence from all liquor and strong drinks. I do not believe that Pentecostals have meat restrictions, but Alabama encourages eating mindfully in moderation. North Dakota is against Freemasonry. Behind that, Arkansas warns against swearing. And the state of Indiana calls divorce and remarriage evil. I have climbed the 321 steps to the top of Prayer Mountain, and this here is the world's largest altar. To mark the spot where Tomlinson claimed to have received a message from God, he had the largest altar in the world built 80 feet across. There are also some tablets inscribed with the Sermon on the Mount from the Gospel of Matthew. There are some other attractions at the Fields of the Wood, such as this replica of the empty tomb of Christ. This was also built during the 40s. Here is a recreated Golgotha, the site of Christ's crucifixion marked by the 3 crosses at the top. There's really cool stonework on Golgotha. Those must be boulders from local riverbeds. In front it is spelled out, Jesus died for our sins, to be seen from a heaven's eye viewpoint. Let's now take a closer look at the Mega Commandments. It is time to make the pilgrimage up the 358 steps to the top, straight through the middle of the largest 10 commandments in the world. A true spiritual experience and cardio workouts. A.J. Tomlinson died in 1943 as they were outlining the 10 commandments, so sadly he never lived to see this glorious sight, and the whole complex was completed by 1945. Then as now, it was a totally unique religious experience that is not terribly convenient to get to. The commandments are spelled out across a 300-foot long span of the mountainside, and each letter and numeral is 5 feet high by 4 feet wide. This staircase through the commandments has some noticeable wear with missing railings and broken steps. There is a giant Bible at the top of the world's largest 10 commandments. This could be the world's largest Bible given the largest commandments and altar are here, but obviously it's not an actual copy of the good book. The real world's largest Bible is owned by Abilene Christian University in Texas and is often displayed at the Museum of the Bible in Washington, D.C. On the back side of the giant Bible, there is a history display about the fields of the wood. The views over the Appalachian Mountains from this sacred spot are beautiful. Here atop the world's largest 10 commandments, I had a wonderful Thanksgiving picnic lunch with my grandparents. There is a road to the top of the mountain, so it is possible to skip the stairs, but I feel that is an important part of the experience if you can do it. So I estimated that by climbing up and down the 2 mountains, I did about 1,400 stairs, which is the equivalent of climbing a 66-foot tall skyscraper. There has been a modern American phenomena of constructing 10 Commandments monuments at public spaces like courthouse squares that really started during the Cold War but even continues today, usually due to outspoken evangelical sects, but none have come remotely close to the size of these 10 Cs, which predate the other monuments by decades. There is a visitor center here, but that is closed today. The property is still owned and operated by the Church of God of Prophecy. However, the place is definitely showing its age. It is free to visit, but I hope they can raise more funds for structural repairs and preservation of this wonderful historic place. And for another fun factoid, A.J. Tomlinson's son, Homer A. Tomlinson, followed in his father's footsteps to become a preacher, but also ran for president 5 times against Eisenhower, Kennedy, and Johnson with the Theocratic Party, campaigning on a mission to merge church and states. He never got very far. There is one more monument at the Fields of the Wood, which requires a bit of a drive further up into the mountains. Here at an elevation of 2,000 feet, the highest point at the Fields of the Wood is marked by the All Nations Cross. This was another project built during the early 1940s in the midst of a global war. It is a 150-foot long cross laid into the mountaintop and lined with the flags of all nations. Well, not really. There are 86 flagpoles, so 86 nations are currently represented here. The Church of God of Prophecy operates in 140 different countries, so not all can be represented at the same time. Well, the Fields of the Wood is an incredible place, one of the true wonders of roadside American evangelism and religious themed attractions. I would absolutely recommend going out of your way to witness this amazing place. There's nothing like it. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please consider checking out my other content featuring religious sites, roadside attractions, natural wonders, and much more across America and Europe. Please make sure to click the like button. Also consider sharing this video and subscribing to my channel for more. Thanks for watching!